So this episode's trigger warnings are going to be a doozy. We have pedophilia, rape, cannibalism, and child abuse. And no, we don't even talk about Armie Hammer in this episode. So you can't handle those topics, skip Bee's story, go straight to Tanya's Do Not Pass Go.
How awful.
I feel like I should have lit my ritual candles.
Ooh, do you want to?
They didn't explain to me what they do, and I don't want to get up.
Okay.
They just let me buy them. So that seems irresponsible for a witch store.
They just let you buy them?
Yep, they didn't tell me what they do. I don't know what they do.
I was like,
They told me what the goddess candle does. That's self-love.
I like that.
So I have to write intentions of self-love
Aw.
and then light it.
What's the other one?
Those
You
two
said
are the ones I
candles.
don't understand. They didn't tell me,
Oh.
but I just like the way they smelled.
What are you?
I don't
what
know.
are you
One's called
doing?
Mark. The other one's called Martin. I don't know.
I'm sure you could Google it.
Mark and Marty. Those are our Mark and Marty candles.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Welcome to episode 35.
Damn, she old.
We've been time fighting.
Time fighter. I
Wait.
said that once to Becky. Something about she's a time fighter. She laughed so hard she had to make a Facebook status about it.
This is a long time ago.
Yes.
So I don't remember this.
Yes, it was a while ago. We were going to the tropical snow.
Oh, yeah, we talked about this place.
Yes.
On our trip.
And I said something about somebody being a time fighter, and she started laughing. I do not get credit for that joke. That is from the movie Prime.
We quote a lot of movies.
We do.
And I'm sorry if we don't source the movies that we quote.
Figure it out.
Because half the time, last night, Bee and I were celebrating our friend Jamie's birthday.
Yes.
And
We quoted our friends.
we quoted something, and Bee was like, what was that from? And I was like, that is literally from our friends
Yeah.
in high school.
We can't even keep track of what's real and what's not anymore. It's great. It's great. So,
Hi, I'm Tanya Lee.
I'm Bee,
Welcome.
and we are forgetful bitches.
We are.
We did.
Oh, yes, we are.
So,
Clearly, I already forgot.
hope you guys enjoyed my brother Nathan on the podcast last week. We completely forgot to hype him up. What he does.
We got nervous because the clock was ticking and my battery was dying.
Running out.
And you guys don't care about the boring details, but I can't plug in my computer while we're recording because it makes the
They
computer...
don't care about the boring details, but I'll tell you anyway.
It makes the computer malfunction.
Yeah, it's no good. It's no good at all. So what we didn't say is you can find Nathan at Wild Space Outpost on Instagram and TikTok. He makes very intricate custom-made lightsabers. I can't even explain how cool these are. He's made one for Doug Marqueta from Forged in Fire.
They're super
They're
cool.
very, very cool. They're very customized. They're very expensive. But if you are a Star Wars nerd, and I say that lovingly, and you are in the market for a lightsaber or any sort of custom Jedi costuming, go to Wild Space Outpost on Instagram or TikTok. He'll show you demos for the sabers he's made and all the different handles he's made. I don't think they're called handles. I don't know the correct term. But anyway, Wild Space Outpost.
It's dope as hell.
Yes, we will link it in the show notes. I think we linked it in the show notes. Did we?
Yes.
Okay, for his episode, and we'll do it again because we failed him.
Don't forget.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, speaking of forgetful, before we recorded, I realized that I forgot Moosh in the bathroom.
She locked an assistant in the bathroom.
He's not tall enough to open the door himself, so
Did he
just...
file an official HR complaint?
He's kind of just staring at the wall.
Yeah, he's
right now.
traumatized.
He looks a little upset.
He's upset with you.
Moosh, are you good?
No,
Moosh?
no,
Moosh?
no.
Hey. Yeah, he was screaming
Yeah, he was
in
a
the
little bit.
bathroom. It was a little
It's a little much.
Oh, it's kind of awful.
Oh
He almost was a how awful.
gosh.
Trapped
no.
in the bathroom forever.
He's been a how awful too many times. He
I also
doesn't need to be a how awful again.
I went into my room to change, and he's just
He was like,
screaming.
ah! sorry,
really
sorry,
weird-
headphone user.
It was a very weird sound, and I was just changing into my pajamas so we could record comfortably.
Yes,
And kept asking him to be a brave boy, and
he was not a brave.
I told him, I was like, "You're a big boy now.
He's not a big
You
boy.
have to put on your brave hat, and he
He's
just went, "Ah!" when I said that.
He was rejecting that idea.
You know, we should really work on teaching our assistants how to
Be brave.
speak.
Oh, that is not nice. Just because it's America, they gotta speak English. Why can't they speak their native tongue?
Hey, I didn't say speak English. I just said speak, period.
Okay, well, they are speaking. We just don't understand them.
They're speaking the assistant language.
Exactly.
Moosh, will you teach me your language? Teach me the language of your people.
It kind of sounds like Scuttle from The Little Mermaid.
Moosh,
What I just did.
Do you want to do a wow?
Do a wow.
Moosh,
I think my favorite thing that we got my brother to do while he was here was to
prompt a wow.
Yes, to prompt a wow from Moosh. Moosh does a wow. We're not going to explain to you what it is. We'll just post it one day.
Yeah, someday we just look at him and we go, wow.
Wow.
And then he does a wow.
Yeah, he does a wow. And my brother saw the wow and acknowledged the wow. And Moosh was like, you do not get to call out the wow.
Only the
Who
girls
do you
do
think you are? But I love that he did not make fun of us for wowing our assistant. Instead, he joined in the wowing.
He just joined in.
Moosh, who likes nobody, including me, his mother.
Where is he? Oh, she's right there.
Liked my brother, and I feel betrayed.
Mushy.
Maybe it's because he got to watch him sleep.
Do you like watching people sleep?
Yeah, he does.
Wow.
Anyway, so this episode is going to have a whole lot of trigger warnings in the beginning. You've already heard them. Oh, wait, your topic is what?
Demon possession?
Yeah, mine's serial killers. So
Yeah.
buckle up, hoes.
Hey.
I just called my mom a hoe.
I didn't want to be one.
And she listens to this podcast, so I just...
The only hoe
She's
I
a
know
lovely
is
lady.
Izzy.
Izzy is a hoe for show.
She is. Izzy.
Can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Hoes don't act right.
She's asleep on the job.
Oh, of course she is.
Like face down.
Hey, hoe, how you doing? Where you been? Probably doing hoe stuff, because there she hoe again. She doing hoe activities.
You're just making
with hoe
this,
tendencies.
You're just making this up off the top of your head, right?
No. Okay, I was just making sure.
This is just your
Does
language.
she reach up to the sky for the hoe zone layer?
Doing hoe activities.
With hoe tendencies. Oh man, that song's problematic.
Like 80% of rap music is problematic.
But the rap music of our day, of our bus riding days, I mean, I was like an 8th grader listening to Use a Hoe.
Yeah.
A little white girl on the
Peaches
bus.
and cream.
That's not rap, but it's still very inappropriate.
I guess not.
Stand back, you're dancing kind of close. Feel a little poke coming through.
Is it a knife?
On you. It better be a pen in your pocket, sir. Oh, man.
That better be a marker.
You knew it was the end of innocence the day you listened to those songs from your childhood and were like, oh.
Do you remember your first mix CD? Because mine, the first track on my mix CD was Thong Song by Cisco.
Thong, the thong, thong, thong. Ooh, that dress so scandalous. And you know what? Couldn't handle this.
I was 10. I asked Vito.
Yeah.
I'm going to not say his last name, but my friend Vito.
Yes.
He was the mix CD kid. He would make everybody mix CDs for $5.
Wow.
You had to pay.
No, I made my own. It had an avatar on it. I don't remember what they were called. They had a specific name. You could go on a website and make them look like you and dress them. And so it had her on it. There was 6 songs on it. That's it. That's all I could come up with.
Your avatar.
And the first song on it was the date rape anthem. Kind of faded, but I feel alright. Thinking about making my move tonight. I can't pretend that you're only my friend when you're holding my body tight. Cause I like the way you're making you move. I like the way you're making me wait. At the end of the night, when I make up your mind, you'll be coming on home with me.
Terrible.
When I make up your mind. No.
So problematic.
No.
Come on, Craig.
Oh, Jesus.
That was Craig David, right?
No, Soul Decision.
Soul Decision.
Craig David was also on that mix.
I remember that mix CD.
Yeah, that was a good one. I'd also had I'll Be Your Crying. I used to think it said You're Crying Soda.
You're Crying Soldier is what I thought.
We were both wrong.
We were
I'll be You love suicide. Is that what he says? Oh, man.
Hey, Siri.
Good evening, Tanya.
Hey.
Oh, my God.
What up? She went away. Hey, Siri.
Hello, Tanya.
What are the lyrics to Edwin McCain's I'll Be? Did you hear any of that?
It also had...
She just, like, fucks me off.
Okay, hold
All
on,
right,
hold
forget
on.
you, Siri. We're broken
Hold on.
up. We're
Hey,
gonna fight.
Siri. What? Hey, Siri. Hey, Siri.
Hmm?
What are the lyrics to Edwin McCain's I'll Be?
Hmm?
Yeah, what's with the attitude? Okay, let's see. And I'll be your crying shoulder. I'll be love suicide. I got that right.
All right.
And I'll be better when I'm older.
Yeah, that's nice.
I'll be
I like
the
that lyric.
greatest fan of your life.
It's really a nice love song.
It is. And it had Lifehouse's Everything on it.
Oh, tear me to pieces.
That song still hits. Still slaps. It probably had I would jump on the Rhine. Whatever that song is.
Oh.
And the lack thereof will leave me up inside. Swallow my doubt, turn it inside out, find nothing but faith in nothing. My tender heart in a blender, want to turn around to a beautiful oblivion. Rendezvous, then I'm through with you.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. This is about 15
Okay.
minutes of a mixtape.
Well, I'm sorry for those listening. I probably
Rendezvous.
cut around a lot of this. so
No, this is brilliant.
You're welcome.
We are not cutting any of it. You're welcome. You can just skip.
She'll never know.
How will they know? I will know.
Oh, okay.
Because I will listen and I'll be like, hey, put it back.
Do not yell at me.
I will yell at you.
Do you want to tell me a freaking story?
I don't think you want me to.
I'm dying. You told me
Okay.
it was like the worst thing ever, and I'm
It's
so excited.
horrible. Buckle up, buttercups. All right. I'm sorry, guys. Known by several names, the Gray Man, the Werewolf of Wisteria,
No, what?
and the Brooklyn Vampire.
Another vampire? What's wrong with you?
I don't know.
Why do you like them?
Albert Fish is one of the most horrendous and stomach-turning serial killers in American history. Does that ring a bell?
Albert Fish?
Albert Fish.
Like fishies?
Like fishies in the pond.
No.
He's about to.
This is new.
Okay, so this is going to need a lot of trigger warnings. I'm just going to reiterate them. They're going to be at the top of the show, obviously, but I'm going to reiterate them. Cannibalism and pedophilia will be large parts of this story. I would also like to, again, preface this with Albert Fish was gay and also a pedophile. This is a sensitive topic, as many homophobic religions and people believe these two things coincide. They do not.
No.
Albert Fish was a monstrous pedophile who just happened to also be gay. It was not a symptom of his homosexuality.
Yes, thank you.
Just getting that out of the way. Anyway, Albert Fish was born May 19th, 1870. He would later become a sadomasochist serial killer and cannibal. I am not
Casual.
going to honor this monster by giving much detail about his life, so here is just enough
Just
to
enough.
understand.
To make us think we understand.
Yes, his father was 43 years older than his mother.
Done deal. He's a cannibal.
So this partially runs in the family, the pedophilia.
Yeah.
Fish was the younger of four. Many members of his family had mental illness, and one suffered from religious mania. His father was a riverboat captain, but by 1870, he was a fertilizer manufacturer. So he manufactured animal poop, basically. The elder Fish died of a heart attack at the 6th Street station of the Pennsylvania Railroad in 1875 in Washington, D.C.
Poop made me think of something.
What?
Poop? It made me think of something.
Was it poop?
No, today at work, there was a very serious conversation about a seagull that's going to be on our show, and will it poop on command?
I hope so. He's being paid to.
You guys better start working
Oh,
in TV
man.
right now.
All right.
I'm telling you, it's a hoot.
Glamorous. Fish's mother put him into an orphanage.
Can we call him Fishy moving forward?
No.
Okay. So I
Too
thought
cute of a name for what this man is.
no is the beginning of a negotiation.
No.
Paul Abdul.
No, period. He was frequently whipped and beaten there and eventually discovered that he enjoyed physical pain. The beatings would often give him erections,
Oh,
for which the other orphans teased him.
surprise.
They called him ham and eggs for some reason.
What?
I don't know. I don't want
Why?
to know. I don't want to get it.
Kids still make sense.
By 1879, his mother got a government job and was able to look after him. However, his various experiences before this had affected him. He started a homosexual relationship in 1882 at the age of 12 with a telegraph boy. The boy also introduced Fish to such practices as drinking urine and coprophagia. For those of you dying to know what that is, it's the consumption of feces. So you were just two little gay 12-year-olds drinking urine and eating poop.
Why?
Fish began visiting public baths where he would watch boys undress and spent a great portion of his weekends on these visits. By 1890, Fish had arrived in New York City, and he said he became a male sex worker. He also said he began raping young boys, a crime he kept committing even after his mother arranged a marriage. In 1898, he was married to a woman 9 years his junior. They had 6 children: Albert, Anna, Gertrude, Eugene, John, and Henry Fish. He was arrested for embezzlement and was sentenced to incarceration in Sing Sing in 1903. He regularly had sex with men while in prison, because why not?
Well, yeah. That's all he's got
When
going
God
for him.
gives you a buffet.
Yeah.
Throughout 1898, he worked as a house painter, and he said he continued molesting children, mostly boys under 6.
Oh, God.
He later recounted an incident in which a male lover took him to a waxworks museum, where Fish was fascinated by a bisection of a penis. Soon after, he developed a morbid interest in castration. During a relationship with an intellectually disabled man, Fish attempted to castrate him after tying him up. The man became frightened and fled. Fish then began intensifying his visits to brothels, where he would be whipped and beaten more often. In January 1917, his wife left him for John Strobe, good work, a handyman who boarded with the Fish family. Following this rejection, Fish began to hear voices. For example, he once wrapped himself up in a carpet, explaining that he was following the instructions of John the Apostle.
I know that guy.
From Catholic school?
John the Apostle?
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw him earlier today.
Oh, just on the street?
Somewhere.
Okay.
It's a secret.
Fish committed what may have been his first attack on a child named Thomas Bedden in Wilmington, Delaware in 1910. Afterward, he stabbed an intellectually disabled boy around 1919 in Georgetown, Washington, D.C. Consistently, many of his intended victims would be either intellectually disabled or black, because he believed these would not be missed. So on top of his goodie bag of fun habits, he was also intensely racist and ableist.
Good
Woo!
for... You know what? He was already sounding like maybe he wasn't so bad.
Like we were going to invite him to Thanksgiving?
Yeah, whatever.
Not anymore.
Don't like him.
On July 11th, 1924, Fish found 8-year-old Beatrice Keel playing alone on her parents' Staten Island farm. He offered her money to come and help him look for rhubarb in the neighboring fields. She was about to leave the farm when her mother chased Fish away. Fish left, but returned later to the Keel's barn, where he tried to sleep for the night before being discovered by Hans Keel and told to leave. On May 25th, 1928, Edward Budd put a classified ad in the Sunday edition of the New York World that read, quote, "Young man, 18, wishes position in country. Edward Budd, 406 West 15th Street," end quote. On May 28th, 1928, Fish, then 58 years old, visited the Budd family in Manhattan, New York City, under the pretense of hiring Edward. He introduced himself as Frank Howard, a farmer from Farmingdale, New York. When he arrived, Fish met Budd's younger sister, 10-year-old Grace. Fish promised to hire Budd and said he would send for him in a few days. On his second visit, he agreed to hire Budd, then convinced the parents, Delia Flanagan and Albert Budd, to let Grace accompany him to a birthday party that evening at his sister's home. Albert Sr., like, who does that? Hey, can I take your 10-year-old daughter to a birthday party at my sister's? I'm a 58-year-old man you've only met twice. Sure, go ahead, do that.
Yeah, no, I feel a lot of dread.
Oh, you should. Albert Sr. was a porter for the Equitable Life Assurance Society. Grace had a sister, Beatrice, and 2 other brothers, Albert Budd II and George Budd. Fish left with Grace that day and never came back.
Yeah.
The police arrested Charles Edward Pope on September 5th, 1930, as a suspect of the kidnapping. He was a 66-year-old apartment house superintendent, and he was accused by his estranged wife. He spent 108 days in jail between his arrest and trial on December 22nd, 1930. 7 years later, in November 1934, an anonymous letter was sent to the girl's parents, which led the police to Albert Fish. I'm going to read the letter. It is grotesque, so please skip it if you have a weak stomach. Tanya, you don't get the option. So this... Okay. So this is the letter. Dear Mrs. Budd, in 1894, a friend of mine shipped as a deckhand On the steamer Tacoma, Captain John Davis, he's very grammatically and spelling. I'm just going to read it how he wrote it. Sorry if it sounds weird. They sailed from San Francisco for Hong Kong, China. On arriving there, he and 2 others went ashore and got drunk. When they returned, the boat was gone. At that time, there was famine in China. Meat of any kind was from $1 to $3 per pound. So great was the suffering among the very poor that all children under 12 were sold for food in order to keep others from starving. A boy or girl under 14 was not safe in the street. You could go in any shop and ask for steak, chops, or stew meat. Part of the naked body of a boy or girl would be brought out, and just what you wanted cut from it. A boy or girl's behind, which is the sweetest part of the body and sold as veal cutlet, brought the highest price. John stayed there so long he acquired a taste for human flesh. On his return to New York, he stole 2 boys, one 7 and one 11, took them to his home, stripped them naked, tied them in a closet, then burned everything they had on. Several times every day and night he spanked them, tortured them, to make their meat good and tender. First, he killed the 11-year-old boy because he had the fattest ass, and of course the most meat on it. Every part of his body was cooked and eaten except the head, bones, and guts. He was roasted in the oven, all of his ass, boiled, broiled, fried, and stewed. The little boy was next, went the same way. At that time, I was living at 409 East 100th Street, near Right Side. He told me so often how good human flesh was, I made up my mind to taste it.
Oh my God, no.
On Sunday, June the 3rd, 1928, I called you at 406 West 15th Street, brought you pot cheese, strawberries. We had lunch. Grace sat in my lap and kissed me. I made up my mind to eat her. On the pretense of taking her to a party, you said yes, she could go. I took her to an empty house in Westchester I had already picked out. When we got there, I told her to remain outside. She picked wildflowers. I went upstairs and stripped all my clothes off. I knew if I did not, I would get her blood on them. When all was ready, I went to the window and called her. Then I hid in a closet until she was in the room. When she saw me all naked, she began to cry and tried to run down the stairs. I grabbed her and she said she would tell her mama. First, I stripped her naked. How she did kick, bite, and scratch. I choked her to death, then cut her in small pieces so I could take my meat to my rooms, cook and eat it. How sweet and tender her little ass was roasted in the oven. It took me 9 days to eat her entire body. I did not fuck her, though I could have, had I wished. She died a virgin. A jaunty read.
I wish we were drinking right now.
I know, we're not drinking this episode.
Oh my God.
Mrs. Budd was illiterate and could not read the letter herself, so she had her son read it. Fish later admitted to his attorney that he did indeed rape Grace. Fish was a compulsive liar, however, so this may be untrue. He had told the police when asked that it never even entered his head to rape Grace. So he goes back and forth.
Yeah,
The letter was delivered in an envelope that had a small hexagonal emblem with the letters NYPCBA, standing for New York Private Chauffeurs Benevolent Association. A janitor at the company told police he had taken some of the stationery home but left it at his rooming house at 200 East 52nd Street when he moved out. The landlady of the rooming house said that Fish had checked out of that room a few days earlier. She said that Fish's son sent him money and he had asked her to hold his next check for him. William F. King, the lead investigator, waited outside the room until Fish returned. He agreed to go to the headquarters for questioning, but at the street door lunged at King with a razor in each hand. King disarmed Fish and took him to police headquarters. Fish made no attempt to deny the Grace Budd murder, saying that he had meant to go to the house to kill Edward Budd, Grace's brother. After his capture, the following were discovered. A child named Billy Gaffney was playing in the hallway outside of his family's apartment in Brooklyn with his friend Billy Beaton on February 11, 1927. Both of the boys disappeared, but the friend was found on the roof of the apartment house. When asked what happened to Gaffney, Beaton said the boogeyman took him. Initially, Peter Kudzanowski was a suspect in the murder of Billy Gaffney. Then Joseph Meehan, a motorman on a Brooklyn trolley, saw a picture of Fish in the newspaper and identified him as the old man that he saw February 11th, 1927, who was trying to quiet a little boy sitting with him on the trolley. The boy wasn't wearing a jacket and was crying for his mother and was dragged by the man on and off the trolley. Police matched the description of the child to Billy Gaffney. Gaffney's body was never recovered. Billy's mother visited Fish in Sing Sing to try and get more details of her son's death. Fish confessed the following.
I'm not going to like this.
No, you won't. Quote, I brought him to the Riker Avenue dumps. There is a house that stands alone, not far from where I took him. I took the boy there, stripped him naked, and tied his hands and feet, and gagged him with a piece of dirty rag. I picked out of the dump. Then I burnt his clothes, threw his shoes in the dump. Then I walked back and took the trolley to 59th Street at 2 a.m. and walked from there home. Next day, about 2 p.m., I took tools, a good heavy cat o' nine tails, homemade, short handle, cut one of my belts in half, slit these halves in 6 strips about 8 inches long. I whipped his bare behind till the blood ran from his legs. This is really bad, I'm sorry. I cut off his ears, nose, slit his mouth from ear to ear, gouged out his eyes. He was dead then.
Oh, God.
I stuck the knife in his belly and held my mouth to his body and drank his blood. I picked up 4 old potato sacks and gathered a pile of stones. Then I cut him up. I had a grip with me. I put his nose, ears, and a few slices of his belly in the grip. Then I cut him through the middle of his body, just below the belly button. Then through his legs, about 2 inches below his behind. I put this in my grip with a lot of paper. I cut off the head, feet, arms, hands, and the legs below the knee. This I put in sacks weighted with stones, tied the ends, and threw them into the pools of slimy water you will see along the road going to North Beach. I came home with my meat. I had the front of his body I liked best. His monkey and peewees. That's what he called male parts.
Oh, my
And a nice
God.
little fat behind to roast in the oven and eat. I made a stew out of his ears, nose, pieces of his face, and belly. I put onions, carrots, turnips, celery, and salt and pepper. Just in case you needed a recipe, guys.
Armie Hammer's new BFF?
Yes. It was good. That's what he said. Then I split the cheeks of his behind open, cut off his monkey and peewees, and washed them first. I put strips of bacon on each cheek of his behind and put them in the oven. Then I picked 4 onions, and when the meat had roasted about 1/4 of an hour, I poured about a pint of water over it for gravy and put in the onions. At frequent intervals, I basted his behind with a wooden spoon, so the meat would be nice and juicy. In about 2 hours, it was nice and brown, cooked through. I never ate any roast turkey that tasted half as good as his sweet, fat little behind did. I ate every bit of the meat in about 4 days. His little monkey was as sweet as a nut, but his peewees I could not chew. I threw them in the toilet.
Oh, my God. I want to throw up.
Yep. Sorry, I told you. This is something this man said to this child's mother.
Oh, and it sounds like he just said it like without any... I mean, look, if somebody is doing this kind of
They
stuff...
don't have remorse.
They have no,
No.
feeling. They have there's nothing going on.
None. So the trial of Albert Fish for the premeditated murder of Grace Budd began on Monday, March 11th. Happy birthday, Mom. 1935 in White Plains, New York, with Frederick P. Close as judge and Chief Assistant District Attorney Albert F. Gallagher as the prosecuting attorney. James Dempsey was Fish's defense attorney. Bad job. The trial lasted for 10 days. Fish pleaded insanity and claimed to have heard voices from God telling him to kill children. Several psychiatrists testified about Fish's sexual fetishes, including coprophilia, which is the eating feces or fascination with feces.
Right.
Urophilia is urine.
Never thought I would need
pedophilia-
to know these things.
I know. Pedophilia and masochism, but there was disagreement as to whether these activities meant he was insane. The defense's chief expert witness was Frederick Wedman, a psychiatrist with a focus on child development who conducted psychiatric examinations for the New York criminal courts. Wortham stated that Fish was insane. Another defense witness was Mary Nichols, Fish's 17-year-old stepdaughter. She described how Fish taught her and her brothers and sisters a, quote, game involving overtones of masochism and child molestation. The jury found him to be sane and guilty, and the judge ordered the death sentence.
I mean, in this case...
That's fine. After being sentenced, Fish confessed to the murder of 8-year-old Frances X. McDonnell, killed on Staten Island. Frances was playing on the front porch of his home near Port Richmond, Staten Island, in July 15th, 1924. Frances's mother saw an old man walk by clenching and unclenching his fists. He walked past without saying anything. Later in the day, the old man was seen again, but this time he was watching Frances and his friends play. Frances's body was found in the woods near where a neighbor had seen Frances and the old man going earlier that afternoon. He had been assaulted and strangled with his suspenders.
Oh.
At least his body was found.
Yeah.
Fish arrived in March of 1935 and was executed on January 16, 1936 in the electric chair at Sing Sing. He entered the chamber at 11:06 p.m. and was pronounced dead 3 minutes later. He was buried in the Sing Sing prison cemetery. He was recorded to have said that electrocution would be, quote, the supreme thrill of my life, end quote. Just before the switch was flipped, he stated, quote, I don't even know why I'm here, end quote. Legend has it that his execution took longer due to the numerous needles inserted into his privates, which disrupted the flow of electricity.
He put that
He
there?
put them there. He put needles in his privates because he wanted to really feel it.
Well, okay. I don't know why I'm surprised by
I don't know.
anything.
There are only 3 known victims. However, Albert claimed to have had, quote, he said had, over 100 children in numerous states. But then would later deny involvement in any other murders. However, he would be the suspect for 3 others. 1927, Yetta Abramowitz, age 12, in the Bronx. She was strangled and beaten on the roof of a 5-story apartment house at 1013 Simpson Street. She died in a hospital soon after she was found. The murderer escaped, but 20 detectives and many uniformed policemen were hunting for a tall young man who was said to have tried to lure several young girls of the neighborhood into dark hallways and alleys on May 14th, 1927. 1932, Mary Ellen O'Connor, age 16, in Far Rockaway in Queens on February 15th, 1932. Her mutilated body was found in the woods close to a house that Fish had been painting. 1932, Benjamin Collings, age 17. And that is the gruesome story of Albert Hamilton Fish, the werewolf of Wisteria. My sources were his Murderpedia page and Wikipedia.
We're in a fight.
We're in a fight?
Yeah, I'm upset.
So was that better or worse than the Vampire of Sacramento?
Worse.
Yeah.
My sad hurts.
Your sad hurts?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry I hurt your sad.
You hurt my sad.
I'm so sorry. Poor little Gracie Budd.
I just
did not have a good time.
No one had a good time.
No one had a good time when Albert Fish came to the party. No.
That guy.
That guy so sucks.
I don't like him.
No, I don't blame you.
I don't want to know about him ever again.
I can't Men in Black you. You're gonna know about him now.
Is he? I'd like to make a formal complaint.
Not against me?
Yep.
Wow.
I'm upset.
I heard her sad.
Izzy, you're fast asleep.
Yep.
And I'm trying to get you to do your job.
No. Her office hours, this is a way message. Her office hours are over.
Izzy, you are on the clock.
Izzy don't give a shit.
Izzy?
Okay.
Okay.
So you want to tell me about some demons? Friend?
Do I ever?
Do you ever wonder if you're mispronouncing it and it's actually demons? Like lemons?
Demons?
Demons?
Wait. Oh. Like lemons. No, I was like, are we mispronouncing lemons? Is it lemons?
Is it lemons?
Oh no,
is it demons?
Demons?
Demons. I like demons.
Okay.
All right.
Referred to as the Groton Witch, Elizabeth Knapp was born on February 21st, 1655.
Mixing topics.
In Massachusetts. Mixing topics.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I am.
Witch and demons.
Yes, witches and demons. She was born to James Knapp and Elizabeth Warren Knapp.
Wait.
Elizabeth Warren Knapp.
Queen.
Some queen shit. When Elizabeth was 3 years old, Elizabeth is also the daughter, the person that we're talking about.
Oh, okay. Not confusing.
So Elizabeth's mom's name is Elizabeth.
Got it.
When Elizabeth was 3 years old, her mother, also named Elizabeth.
Got it.
This is going to be confusing. I'm going to call the mother Lizzie. So
There you go.
when Elizabeth was 3 years old, her mother Lizzie had a nervous breakdown after losing their only son. She was even imprisoned for a bit for troublesome behavior. I'm putting air quotes around troublesome behavior. Because basically a woman was sad and they were like, oh, this is annoying.
Troublesome. Yeah.
Essentially. In 1655, or at that point it would be 1658. Yeah. I
Cool.
would say. Any emotion a woman shows other than, hello, here's your dinner, I love you, look at all my children I'm birthing for you, then they're troublesome. At the age of 16, Elizabeth became a servant in the household of Reverend Samuel Willard in the town of Groton, which is where we got the Groton Witch.
Got it.
Reverend Willard was a prominent figure in the church. He held a sermon proclaiming that the youth of the town be very careful because, quote, although God is ready to receive them, the devil is ready to endeavor them, end quote.
Endeavor them?
Yeah, like...
I didn't know endeavor was a verb.
Oh, I didn't either, but I kind of liked the way it was used.
Do I want something to endeavor me?
Definitely not the devil.
Maybe Timothy Chalamet?
Is he the devil? No, he angel baby.
No, would I like him to endeavor me?
Oh, okay.
It sounds like I might.
Let's get things straight here.
It sounds like I might.
Okay, well, anyway.
Anyway, I digress.
When Elizabeth and a member of his own household began to show signs of possession, Willard took a careful and scientific approach to the situation, which was rare for the 17th century, especially Puritan New England people. Those people.
Those people.
He called in a medical doctor on several occasions and tried to find a cure for her symptoms. So instead of initially just being like, she's possessed, oh my God, he was like,
Send her away.
Something's wrong. I'm going to have a doctor come look at her.
Cool.
So pretty progressive for 16 at that point.
He's
1660s.
Yep, he's progressive.
Or maybe 1670s.
Let's take care of her instead of lock her up.
No, it was the 1670s. After the doctor offered no explanation for her so-called fits, Willard declared that it was a case of demonic possession. So only after the doctor observed her several times and was like, I don't know, WTF.
So the sad lady.
And Reverend, well, she was having fits, so she was more of a nasty woman.
Oh, okay. We don't like nasty women.
Willard states that at first, Elizabeth started to complain of pains throughout her body, so I must be possessed. Because I'm always in pain.
We must be possessed.
She would grab certain body parts, such as her leg, her breast, and while grabbing her throat, she would yell out in pain and claim that it felt like she was being strangled. Well, yeah, you're grabbing your throat.
I think I found the source.
I'm being strangled. Yeah, by yourself, you ding-dong.
I found the cause.
Stop strangling yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
We're not funny. Maybe she was going into anaphylactic shock and she didn't know it.
She could have been. There's a lot of
Lots of
explanations. Could have been happening. She would go through emotional fits, sometimes laughing to the point of hysterics, excessive weeping, or just plain old screaming.
Well, when all else fails.
We all know somebody had a little screaming fit today. He must be possessed.
I mean, there's a fair case for that. I don't know.
Is he in his tree? Oh, yeah, he's in his tree.
Always.
He's sitting on top of a tree in our home. It's very alarming. Hallucinations came next.
It's an assistant tree.
On several occasions, she claimed to see two persons walking around her. She claimed to have seen a man floating around her bed. Elizabeth mainly broke out into fits at night and would convulse on the ground. She once tried to throw herself into a fire.
Okay, fun.
Willard notes that on the first Sabbath, after the symptoms appeared, she became violent, leaping and contorting her body to the point where it took 3 to 4 people to hold her down. A reminder, she's 16.
Can't hold us down.
Yeah, no, can't hold her down. Can't hold Elizabeth down.
No.
She's 16 years old, super small in stature. She's a servant. She's not like some rich woman who's getting fed all the time, like tiny person. So 3 to 4 people to hold her down is kind of alarming.
Tiny but mighty.
Tiny but mighty, yeah. As she was throwing these fits, she would yell out the words, quote, money, money, sin, and misery, misery, end quote.
I mean, okay.
Money, money.
Money, money, sin, misery!
I mean, when I'm having my fits, I tend to yell, money!
Money! All the time.
All the time.
We're not making light of this woman's clear mental illness, sorry.
Oh, well, we'll get to it.
Yeah, okay.
Willard documented that on the night of November 2nd, 1671, Elizabeth made a confession. She had met with the devil, which is often a characteristic of most possession cases, as they claimed, I met with the devil and now I'm possessed. She stated that for 3 years, the devil met with her, promising her money, youth, ease from labor, and the ability to see the world. She then claimed that the devil had presented her with a book of blood covenants, which were signed by other women as well. The devil had tried to get her to kill herself and others, including Willard and his family, but she could not. She could not. Elizabeth continued with fits and claims of seeing the devil and various other spirits until the night of November 28th, in which she had a fit lasting for 48 hours. Afterwards, she was in a catatonic state until the night of December 8th, in which she made the confession previously mentioned about having met with the devil.
Right.
She said that after being assaulted by the devil various times, she made the pact with him and allowed him into her bed.
Did she dance with the devil? Or is that only Demi Lovato?
As of now, it's only Demi Lovato, I think.
Okay. So he's got his dance
Somebody
partner.
has yet to make that claim besides her.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. She stated that he also took hold of her speech, and she had no control over the things that she was saying. Willard's journal continued on to state that she, throughout the month of December, goes in and out of violent fits, one much worse than the next. She talks in a strange, deep voice and makes animal sounds. It is. I mean, I meow all day long, so clearly I am showing a lot of symptoms.
My coworker quacks.
There you go. That's, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
It is also during these few weeks that Willard states the devil, quote, talked through her body, end quote, calling him a rogue minister.
Another Demi Lovato quote coming out. What does her body say? I had it my way.
Willard carefully and meticulously documented Elizabeth Knapp daily from the night she first showed signs on Monday, October 30th, 1671. Creepy.
Halloweeny.
Hallows Eve.
All Hallows Eve.
Until January 15th, 1672. The night after she went into a fit of hysterical crying and weeping in which she called for Willard's presence. The fits, quote, held her till late in the night, as long as I tarried.
Don't tarry.
Do you know what tarried means? I had to look it up because I didn't know what it meant. It means to stay.
Oh, okay.
But in like Old English talk.
Oh, okay.
So as long as I tarried, which was more than an hour, I left her in them. And thus she continues speechless to this day, January 15th.
I learned an old English phrase.
What was it?
Arf and arf.
Okay, what is define?
I don't know if I'm getting it correct. Hold on, I gotta look it up. What does arf and arf mean?
Yeah, she'll know. She knows everything. She's the knower of all.
Arf and arf.
Sounds like a fun name to name a new assistant.
It means, okay, it means that you're, like, blundering drunk. So if someone is drunk, you go, they're arf and arf.
Oh, we are forever using that now.
Arf. Oh, arf and arf. Sorry, arf and arf.
Like a dog.
Arf and arf.
Hi, Moose. Hi, buddy.
It's just my favorite thing. Arf and arf.
Did you come to say hi?
Oh, also, your hands, they're called daddles. You're flapping your daddles.
Quit flapping your daddles. I have so much joy. Okay, anyway. After this night of tarrying,
sorry, daddles.
Those daddles.
Okay,
not arf narf.
Not arf narf.
He was not arf narf.
No.
He probably thought she was.
Probably.
So after this night, Willard ends his documentation of the possession, stating that he will leave it to those who are more learned, aged, and judicious than he was.
Sorry.
Wow, Mush is doing wow.
Wow.
Mushy, are you doing a wow? Do you make a wow with your body? Can I whoop? Whoop. Willard concluded his entries with a final 4 points, in which he gave his final opinions about the validity of the possession case. In the first point, Elizabeth's distemper in no way can be counterfeit on the grounds that it was physically impossible to fake such actions.
Mm-hmm.
The second point refers to whether or not her temper was natural or diabolical, in which he stated, because of the length of her convulsions and the strength of her fits, he believed them to be diabolical.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. In the third point, he concluded that even though many were skeptical of the fact that the devil talked through the girl, he was convinced. He stated on several occasions she spoke with her mouth closed, her throat would swell up like a balloon, and the voices that he heard were not her own. However, in the fourth point, he said he has strong doubts about Elizabeth Knapp making a pact with the devil. This is because she is so contradictory about the facts and what happened in her supposed meetings with the devil. Willard went on to give several powerful sermons in the village of Salem during the Salem witch trials in 1692.
I saw a TikTok that said that didn't happen.
The Salem witch trials?
That's not true. That no witches were burned in Salem ever.
I mean, TikTok.
And I don't know if that's true or not. And now I don't know anything.
Well, anyway.
But it was only in Europe. Theories.
Maybe not in Salem, but he kept a journal. This is where all this is from.
Right.
This is journals.
Yeah, right. No, that's fine.
But as well... So,
I don't think I believe this person.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
I don't want to believe that people were burned at the
no,
stake.
I mean, who wants to believe that?
It's kind of like, well, then what else didn't happen? I mean, there's people who think that slavery didn't happen.
Yeah.
Those people are racist.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he went on to give the powerful sermons during the Salem witch trials in 1692, as well as discredited evidence of conviction for several women during the trials, stating that the trials should be held in a fair and legal way. So he saved some women.
Sure. Good.
The Puritans believed that God had entered into a special relationship with godly people. This relationship obliged them to purge themselves of sins that inevitably accumulated. The ministers and magistrates in New England believed witch hunting and the public executions of witches cleansed the community of evil.
Sure.
Elizabeth Knapp was not a witch.
No.
She married Samuel Scripture and lived out her life as a good Puritan wife and mother of 10 children. Yeah, poor R.I.P. Elizabeth's vagina.
Oh, seriously?
So successfully did she obliterate her discontent that she almost completely disappears from the public records after 1673.
I mean, if I had 10 children, I'd be yelling, money, money, sin!
She was 16 at that
Yeah,
time, so
I
she
know.
didn't have kids yet.
But I would go back to yelling about that.
Yeah, money, money, help!
Money, money, sin, misery!
Modern medicine has cast an interesting light on part of this story. It now appears that Elizabeth most likely was afflicted with adult-onset chorea, also known as Huntington's disease.
Wow.
A rare dominant genetic disorder that takes its name from the Greek word for dancer. 8 people in every 100,000 people in Europe and North America suffer from it. The disease causes the selective deterioration of certain movement-related structures deep inside the brain. The symptoms of the disease, which may first appear around puberty, include excessive, spontaneous, irregular movements of the limbs that flow from one part of the body to the other that worsen over time, sometimes leading to neurological deterioration, including apathy, irritability, memory loss, manic depression, and schizophrenia.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a hard time.
Sleep is usually the only time when someone suffering from the disease is not vulnerable to fits. There is currently no cure, but antipsychotic medications may lessen the symptoms. Sufferers invariably die 10 to 25 years after the onset. They have been called everything from saints to witches since the 16th century.
Did she die?
There's no record of what happened to her after she married and had 10 kids. That's literally like she obliterated herself from history.
All right.
Which is kind of fascinating.
Yeah.
There's also some theories that she might have faked demon, like she might have heard about demon possession and faked it so she didn't have to do work.
Oh, Queen, Shiro.
Because when she was possessed, she was catered to, she was fed.
Damn.
She was, like, left to rest all day.
Sorry, I can't come to work. I am demon possessed.
So that's an interesting perspective, especially given the fact that she just, like, went on and got married and had 10 kids and just, like, lived out her life.
Yeah, seemingly normal. Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, so there's some different perspectives on it. I personally could see where she was mentally ill.
Yeah.
And I don't know anything really about Huntington's disease, but from this resource, I was like, okay, this kind of makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Especially given the dates, like 1670s.
Yeah.
If a woman had like an emotion slightly off,
slightly above monotone.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, she's possessed.
Yeah, women should be seen, not heard, and they should rarely be even seen back then.
Yeah, and you know, we talk about this even today. A woman who knows what she wants is a bitch.
Yeah.
But a man who knows what he wants is a boss.
Right.
So it's kind of like we're 2021.
Yeah.
This is 1670. Not good.
Maybe she was arf arf and arf.
Maybe. Well, no, she was not arf arf and arf.
Maybe she was.
They're the Puritans. They don't have alcohol.
No. Maybe she found some.
So my sources.
Yeah.
Were Wikipedia, History of American Women blog. There was I didn't know who wrote it. It didn't say.
Gosh.
I know.
How dare they?
And I watched a YouTube video by Haley Reese called The Possession of Elizabeth Knapp.
Interesting.
So it's an interesting one.
Do you want another Victorian phrase?
Yes, I do.
Natty narking.
I'm sorry?
Natty narking. If you're having a great time at the bar, you are natty narking.
At the pub?
At the pub? I think I might have to come up with a few of these every once in a while. They're just too good.
Yes, I love these. Arf, arf, narf.
Arf, arf, and arf.
Daddles.
And daddles.
Those are some good ones.
Yep.
Tarried, to stay.
Tarried, to stay. Not as fun as daddles.
No.
You
we
did that.
We really, really need to talk about something wonderful.
Oh, God. Yeah, a little bit.
My sads has not worn off.
I'm sorry that I upset your sads.
I'm so sad.
I'm so sorry. Were you thinking about Albert Fish the whole time you were reading about
I
Elizabeth?
don't think I'll ever stop thinking about Albert Fish.
Oh, I'm so sorry you have to go to sleep.
I'm gonna watch
some nature doc on Disney.
that or Mighty Ducks GameStop.
Oh, of course.
GameStoppers.
You're enjoying that very much.
It's cute.
Is that your How Wonderful?
No, because it's not good, but I'm enjoying
But it's yes.
Yes. Should it be Moosh? Because he's right here.
No.
No? Wow. Why are you freaking out? We good?
I can say my How Wonderful. It's very simple, but I like to give myself some props. My How Wonderful is I had a good mental health day.
That's very wonderful.
And those are few and far between nowadays. And I was productive today. I was clear-headed. I didn't have a sense of dread. I wasn't angry. I had a good mental health day. I got a lot done. I'm sure it'll just be today. But I'm grateful for it nonetheless.
Are we sure that Moosh can be my wonderful? He
Count
keeps
your
roping
blessings.
me.
No, he can't be your wonderful. He wants to go to bed. That's what he's doing.
He is. He's trying to
Lure you.
lure me. Moosey.
This is an HR issue.
You're so handsome. Okay, my wonderful, and you're totally going to agree.
Huh.
Stanley Tucci, Searching for Italy.
Oh, Stanley Tucci, Searching for Italy. It's so delightful.
It's
okay,
so good.
We are a sucker for endearing food travel shows.
Moosh, are you good?
No, he's playing with a pen.
Moosh, no.
You know you can't hold a pen. You don't have thumbs.
You don't have opposable thumbs.
He's trying to put in a formal complaint and he can't.
Moosh, no. No pen.
Anyway, endearing travel shows that involve food. That is our jam.
Yeah, I really wish that I was cool enough and that you people would make me famous.
Yep.
So that I could have a travel show called Tanya Eats Pasta, where I just literally eat pasta every day of my life.
It's just Tanya Eats Pasta.
Just Tanya Eats Pasta. And I go around the world and I try different pastas.
And then on the 10th season, it'll be Tanya's weight loss journey.
No, you really only see me take one bite.
Oh, that's true. And then you give it to the crew.
Yeah.
But you're going to be like, no, that's mine.
I'm going to be like,
I miss it already.
This is why I'm trying to work out every day, because I just want to eat pasta all day long.
But yeah, since this year did not give us a new season of Somebody Feed Phil,
It's a nice substitute.
we have Stanley Tucci, Searching for Italy.
It's a different vibe than Somebody Feed Phil.
It is.
Because Philip Rosenthal
Yes.
is not that
delight.
Stanley Tucci is not delightful.
He is a gift.
Stanley Tucci is
the
a gift.
world.
But Phil just has this purity to him.
Yeah.
He's like a little baby that grew into a man.
But
And
he's
is
still
like,
kind of a baby.
and he's like a toddler who's like mature.
He's a mature toddler.
Do you know what I mean? Like he's just like,
Yes.
you just want to like
He goes
feed
hee
him
when he eats things, and it's wonderful.
and like pet him
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
make him happy, make him smile.
Yeah.
Stanley Tucci, I don't think he's good
He's just
looking, but he's
cool.
like sexy. He's got like a sexy like
Phil's not sexy.
yeah, no.
He's your dad.
Like Stanley Tucci
And Tucci's your daddy.
is like class.
Yes. He's
He-
very chic.
He's very chic. He makes me feel like a troll.
He has very tailored ass pants.
Yes, he does. And I want to eat pasta with him and Phil.
That would be too much delight for me to handle.
What would we do with ourselves?
You know, there's going to be another traveling delightful man show where they eat food. And it's What's Eating Sebastian Maniscalco.
Oh my God, really?
So it's going to be
But he's
gonna be
Chicago.
something.
He's home.
He's so Chicago, it's painful. And
Yeah.
he's a full-on comedian, so I'm sure it'll be...
What is with all these white men going out and eating food? What about the women? Where are the women?
Where are the women?
There's no travel show that's at least like there. I mean, I know there's travel shows with women.
Yeah.
I can't think of one.
I think Padma Lakshmi did it.
Okay. That's good.
And yes, and she's a beautiful Indian woman of color.
So really,
just Padma.
I've come up with another endeavor.
Yep.
It's just
white women eat food.
it's us eating food called How Wonderful.
How wonderful.
Quite the opposite of how awful. I was literally walking to my car with our friend Sandy after work today. And I was talking about food and I was like, I have a passion for food. I just love to eat. Yes. I love food.
Who doesn't love food?
We went to Joffrey's last night.
We did in Malibu. That was delightful.
For our friend Jamie's birthday.
Chef Show. John Favreau. That's another good, delightful man-eating show.
Yeah. I've been watching Chef's Table.
Yeah, you love that.
It's really good. It's less traveling. It's more like going to a place where a chef works.
I had it and I lost it. It's gone. Sorry.
Oh, you were thinking of another chef show?
I was thinking of, it's not a chef show.
Or eating show.
But comedians in cars getting coffee.
Yeah, that's a good one. I haven't watched, I've seen clips, but I haven't watched.
And I'm not a Seinfeld fan, sorry. Just not my cup of coffee. But it's a good show. It's a fun show. It's a delightful, lighthearted show.
Yeah. Oh, Travel Man. I was thinking of Travel Man.
It's not eating, but
it's not eating.
I mean, he definitely does eat in it.
I was like,
but yeah, Travel Man with Richard Ayoade.
Oh yeah, he's so cute. I love him.
I feel like I just mispronounced his last name. Might not have. I don't know. But yeah, if you're a fan of the IT crowd or just Richard Ayoade alone, he does a lot of quiz shows in the UK. He's wonderful.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, the Travel Man.
Should we choose our topic for next week?
We've given them music recs, TV recs. I made a whipped feta with a sun-dried tomato vinaigrette and warm naan. And buddy, I'm just telling you, I'm giving you food recs. Oh, I picked them all.
I tried to shake them up, and they weren't really.
I got
listening to me.
I got true crime.
Oh, what a topic!
So you probably got paranormal. Which one to make a bet? We go together like shamalama true crime and
celeb deaths.
Oh wow! Okay,
hey.
Switched it up.
It's gonna be awful.
Magically awful. Anyway,
if you could see me now,
you can find us on all of the social medias except Pinterest at How Awful Podcast. Whee! That's Twitter, that's Instagram, that's Facebook, that's YouTube, that's I said them all. TikTok.
We are on TikTok now. I'm very bad at updating TikTok.
She did good for a minute and then she's just like, Mer. You can email us at howawfulpodcast@gmail.com. Email us your awful stories, ghost stories, murder stories, hometown stories, stories your grandparents told you. If you have a how wonderful you want to share, anything, howawfulpodcast@gmail.com. Please include your pronouns so we know what to refer to you as.
I'm going to ask a direct question.
What?
Does anyone know anyone that works at Area 51?
Oh, dear God. That's it. That's your question.
That's my question.
Yeah, like I said, please include your pronouns. Please highlight anything you want redacted because we will read it. We will read it unless you tell us we cannot read it. Also, if you include photos, please let us know if you give us permission to post said photos. You can also send photos of your assistants.
We love assistants.
We do. We love them.
They should be unionized.
You can give us your money at patreon.com/howawfulpodcast. I got it right. It's not even that much money. But the more people that give us their money monthly, the more chances we have to give you content. And we want to go to all the haunted hotels and scare ourselves and record a podcast, record a video, and give you that content. And if you are a Patreon member, you get that content before everyone else.
Woo, bae.
What?
Before anyone else.
Oh, okay. Bae.
Our patrons are our baes.
It's a good one. Did I miss anything?
Negative.
I did it, guys. I did it. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's been that.
I literally my brain just went. It's bedtime. I don't know if you watched
Her
me.
sidewalks rolled
Just
up.
Shut down.
Yeah, you did. So who have you been?
Tanya Lee.
I've been Bee.
And Moosh, who have you been?
Moosh.
All I see is his butt. Is he? She's
still sleeping.
Anyway.
She might be dead. That's not funny, but she's old.
She's not a
And
young
she's,
assistant.
She's ill.
She is
She's not dead, guys.
elderly.
It's fine. I'll poke her in a second.
Okay.
Now that I've worked Tanya.
I'm panicked.
She's fine.
We gotta go.
She's fine. This has been how awful.
Yes, this is awful.
Got a bad idea.
Ooh, that's an interesting
But
one.
don't we take a little bit of time away? It was
Hey.
what was playing before my car turned off.
What was I playing? Charles Manson something.
Yeah, forget about him. What? As always, we've been Bee and Tanya Lee. Our logo was created by MJ Savard, and our theme music courtesy of Nikki Lou.